on behalf of our organization and the Industrial Development Board, we want to welcome you. Another historic day in our community. Appreciate you being here. We're here for a very special reason, to recognize the turning of dirt and site work here at the Hemlock SemiConductor site, which started in earnest about 2.5 weeks ago. But this was an opportunity for us to take some time as a community to reflect on where we're going and what has been. But also we have some special members from their team in town and give you an opportunity to meet some of them. We're going to, instead of introducing the speakers right now, I'm going to introduce them as we go. We have some elected officials that we'd like to recognize, and rather than your typical recognition, I want to tell you a little bit about why we're recognizing them today. Start with our Economic Development Council Chairman, Brad Martin. I think he's here somewhere. If you put your hand up, Brad. Hey, boss. Brad's doing my review this year. That's why he's important. We also have Fred Landis, the CDB chairman, and Mark Holloman, who's chairing the Chamber of Commerce. Fred's back here. And Mark Holloman is, hey, boss. Tom Skrotsky, who's chairing the Industrial Development Board, I don't think he made it. He's very under the weather this week. But the work of the Industrial Development Board on this project has been enormous. So their leadership, if we could have, I think Bryce and some of our other IDB board members are here. If I could get you to raise your hands and let us recognize you, James Alvin. Bryce in the back. Hey, Dr. Rudolph. And then Mike Evans. Stand up, Mike. Hey. That's my man. If you know Mike, you know he gets a little emotional, so he's going to stand behind here probably most of the time. But the work of our Industrial Development Board, and Mike in particular on this project, has just been immense. 2.5 years of detail and planning, and the planning that our board did and our community did to get us today and be prepared for a project of this magnitude was immense. Senator Tim Barnes, thank you for being here. Representative Curtis Johnson, Representative Joe Pitts. There were some issues during the last 2.5 years that came up as it related to incentives and carbon legislation at a federal level. And the governor's help and our delegation's help in getting that work passed alleviated the concerns that they had about potential tax liability in the future, and it was huge. President Tim Hall is here. Austin Peay State University has become so incredibly pivotal to this project. The talent flow for this facility will eventually come in many ways from Austin Peay. We have Kingsley Brock from Economic Development Department of the state of Tennessee, and Jennifer Hagendeer, Department of Revenue. She's Assistant Commissioner of Revenue. They've worked this project for the last 2.5 years, and a lot of the groundwork in detail, relationship building with their team came from those two folks at the state, and we are incredibly grateful for the work that you've done. Alan Raymond, is he here for TVA? Couldn't make it. Alan was also the guy at TVA that originated this project. Jerome is going to speak on their behalf. Paul Good, representing Senator Corker, I know he's here. And Ryan Durst from Congressman Marsha Blackburn's office is here as well. There were federal issues over the last couple of years. We were competing against many other countries, but in the end, community in Canada. And their work at the federal level and their work going forward at the federal levels could be incredibly important. Members of our county commission, if you're here, please stand and let us recognize you. Thank you all. For those of you that don't know, our community invested $17.5 million to buy this site. And it was the decision-making process had gone on past the time that we actually had the land under option for the Teeter family. And it was their confidence in the ability of getting a deal done at some point that will convince them to go and buy the site. Almost unanimous vote. We were missing one. But it's a huge commitment on the part of our community and our commissioners. We thank you. City council members are here. If we could recognize you as well. This site is not inside city limits, so all the infrastructure, gas, water, and sewer, the financial dollars to do so from our leadership and council has helped also make this project possible. All these services, police, fire protection will be coming from our city, and their cooperation has been so important. I hope that I haven't forgotten anybody. I know Director of Schools, Mike Harris, is here. I saw him. Again, talent for this project is so incredibly important, and the work that the school system has done over the years to get us to this level to be ready for this type of project, and their commitment going forward is important. We're going to actually be over there with your administrators this afternoon. So I apologize if I have forgotten anybody. I don't mean to do so. I want to take the opportunity to introduce our first speaker, Terry Strange. Terry is currently residing in China and will be the site manager going forward, and will be moving here, I believe, in the fall. And before, Terry, you come up, I actually want to acknowledge some other people. Laura Lambeth, if you'd stand for a second. She's our Director of Human Resources. Kevin Lamb, Mr. Green, our environment guy. That's a good title, I think. Jim Kindig, who is actually one of a couple of people that are responsible for getting it up, running on time, on budget. Jim Kindig. The three of these folks actually are going to be your neighbors very soon. They'll be moving here in the fall as well. Leslie Orozco, who heads up communications for HSC. We love Leslie, we love them all, but Leslie's the only one that doesn't get to move here right now, so we're going to lobby Terry collectively to allow her to relocate. At this time, Terry, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, James. It's a pleasure to be here. I am overwhelmed with the people that are here and the people that have been involved in this successful endeavor for us to be here. I just don't know how to say thank you enough. It is just amazing. So let me start over with the speech that Leslie thinks I'm supposed to do. Good morning, and thank you for the warm southern welcome. I've met many of you, but not all of you. I'm from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, originally. I've lived several parts of the world now, and it's nice to be home. It just feels like home. James says I've been in China. I have. I've been in China for about the last 3.5 years. And we're building a plant similar to the one we're going to build here, similar investment, a little over $1 billion. And it's got to be easier doing it here in English, I'm going to tell you. This groundbreaking event we have today is the first visible sign of what's going to be here in the future. And this is our future. And I'm excited to be part of it, and I hope you are too. Hemlock SemiConductor could have reached this milestone other ways, but I don't think we could have done it without each of you that's here today and all you've put into it and all you're going to continue to put into it over the next several years. There's no way I can thank everyone, but I do want to thank a few people. Governor Bredesen has been instrumental in all the things that have gone on here. I realize he's not here, but I want to thank him and all his representatives for being here. And we do have 2 state representatives, Curtis Johnson and Joe Pitts, and also Senator Tim Barnes. Thank you, gentlemen, for everything you've done. I've never lived a place where there's 2 mayors. But thank you, both Mayor Bauer and Mayor Piper, for everything you've done. I know you have just worked overtime to make this happen, so thank you. And I also would like to thank Mike Evans and James Chavez, who have worked tirelessly to make this happen. Those guys just put in hours that you wouldn't believe. And thank you. Then there's host of other people, all the folks on the city council and the commissioners, and I haven't even met all of you. But just let me say, from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful for what you've done. I think this is going to be so exciting, and I can't wait to move here. I just think I'm going to love this community. I know my wife will. So just thank you to everyone else. James has already recognized this crew here in front of me. You know, I haven't worked with these guys that long. I've known some of them for quite a while, but I haven't worked with them that much. I've worked other types of things within the company. This team is one of the best teams I've ever started off with. And I've started up 3 or 4 new adventures now for Dow Corning and Hemlock. And thank you guys. Thank you for all you're doing now and all you've done to bring us here. So Hemlock SemiConductor's group's investment here reflects the exciting way things are going in this world, especially in the United States. Other countries have been into the solar endeavor for quite a while. You go to Europe and they've done a whole lot more than we have here in the United States. But I think with the efforts that we have from our federal government now, through our new president, and from the governor here in Tennessee, we're going to see tremendous growth in this solar investment over the next several years. We are extremely proud to be among the leaders of people doing this. And we're extremely proud to be in this community where we can make this happen. So it's our objective to help the solar industry move forward, not just Hemlock SemiConductor Group. I think some of you have read that one of our competitors is moving in down south a little ways. Our feeling is they're good people. I work with them in China, actually. We have a joint venture with that company in China. They're good people, and they're tough competitors, but there's room for everyone. And this is going to be an exciting time in Tennessee in general for the solar industry. It's also important for you to know that Hemlock SemiConductor is committed to keeping our community safe. We like to be involved in the community. We contribute to the sustaining and development of the community, and we like doing that. It's one of the things I like about my job the most, is I get to work with people in the community because you're just like us, just good home folk and fun to be with. So we voluntarily participate in the American Chemical Council's Responsible Care program. Don't know if many of you know that or not, but it's a pretty tough program that requires you to meet the requirements in 7 different areas. And I do have trouble remembering them sometimes. But it's community awareness is part of that, and emergency response. You have to be prepared in case something goes wrong. Security, employee health and safety, pollution prevention, process safety, and product stewardship. What happens from cradle to grave with your projects, with all the products you make? And we have a sizable list for each of these 7 areas that we make sure we comply with, and it's our endeavor to be better than anybody else in all these areas. So we look forward to a very bright future, look forward to working with each of you to whatever degree we possibly can. Thank you once again for your warm welcome, and I'll be here before long.
You can tell the cultural influence that China has had on him already. He was at Rotary bright and early this morning, Sunrise Rotary, and he was telling them that he was trying to teach them how to say hello in Chinese and Southern. It was ni hao y'all. Is that right? There's some other folks that I apologize for not mentioning earlier. Sheriff Norman Lewis, appreciate all that you've continued to do for us. Betty Burchett, our county assessors in the back. Brenda Radford, county trustee, and Kelly Jackson, our clerk. I'm going to bring up the mayors. Mayor Piper's going to speak first, and then Mayor Bowers. Both of these individuals, from the time that they took office, were committed, A, to job creation, raising wage rates in our community, making life better for the people that live here, and it starts with economic development. And they have been at the table ever since, part of all of our negotiations, discussions with the company. In fact, Mayor Bowers, I think your first week in office was their first visit. But the commitment and leadership that they have demonstrated has just been incredible, and their support for our organization and its efforts. So, Mayor Piper, we're going to start with you. If you'd come up, Mayor Piper, City of Clarksville.
Good morning. What a nice day to be in Clarksville. I apologize, I'm under the weather a little bit, and I hope it doesn't come out that way. I want to say a special appreciation to the City Council, those that are here today and those that weren't able to make it with us. What a great leadership team that has been assembled in Clarksville on moving our city forward. And this today is a result of their commitment of continuing to raise our quality of life and continuing to increase our wage base and continuing to move our city progressively forward. So thank you, City Council, for all you do. It's an honor to work with you, pleasure to work with you. Thank you to HSC again for the way that y'all have been diligent in your preparation for your request, and you've certainly been a great team. I don't think we could ask for anyone else with any kinder and with any more professionalism than you. So we thank you for your commitment to that. Today is another exciting day for Clarksville, Montgomery County, as we break ground on the single largest investment this community has ever seen, and eventually, potentially, is projected to be the largest investment for the state of Tennessee. It's been done by a group effort. President Tim Hall, Terry, Mayor Bowers, Paul, Jerome, all of you, everyone here has had a significant impact on the decision of bringing HSC Dow Corning to Clarksville. And it's not any one individual. It is the entire group. And I really firmly believe that when vision and leadership meet, progress will happen. That's right. And that's what's happened. In any situation that you have, when you put those two ingredients together, you're going to have progress. And today is a result of those combinations being put together. The face of our community and our region is forever changed by the decision of HSC to build this facility here. We're known as home of the 101st Airborne in Fort Campbell, the gateway to the beautiful land between the lakes. And today, we will also acquire the distinction as a major player in the alternative energy movement, which is considered by many as the most promising piece of our modern era economy. Today, HSC joins the ranks of our renowned history. HSC will forever be linked with Clarksville, Tennessee, and we thank you. The entire nation will now look to Clarksville and HSC for creative solutions to our growing global energy challenges. We pledge support and commitment to be good partners to HSC and Dow Corning. Clarksville offers a great workforce. Fort Campbell and Austin Peay State University provide first-class employees. Our education system, under the direction of Mike Harris, is the best in the state of Tennessee. We have a wonderful quality of life to offer our citizens and our new citizens, and we exude the southern charm and hospitality that many cities can no longer offer. Much has been taking place behind the scenes to facilitate the building of this facility. I recently signed the engineering contracts to bring the utilities to the site. Between the engineering and the construction, that price could exceed $50 million. In the past few days, the utilities plans had to be reconsidered once again. The city had to advance payment of $2 million to not delay the construction process by paying in advance the reconstruction of the BP pipeline. We had to improvise to make it all work. I know as construction proceeds, new challenges will arise, and we will have to improvise to make things work once again, probably daily. By working together, we all will rise to these challenges. Welcome, HSC. Welcome to Tennessee's top spot, Clarksville, Tennessee. Thank you for your partnership and your friendship, and we're looking forward to a great, long friendship. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure to bring up Mayor Carolyn Bowers now, our Mayor of Montgomery County.
Thank you once again. We think this is a historic occasion, and I'm so delighted so many of you are here to witness this today. It's really heartwarming to see so many of our citizens present. Today's groundbreaking of Montgomery County, Tennessee site for Hemlock SemiConductor, LLC brings great optimism to this community. Again, I would like to thank all the people who worked so diligently to bring Hemlock SemiConductor to our Commerce Park. The Tennessee Economic Development Council with the state of Tennessee, Matt Kisber, the commissioner, Kingsley Brock, who was our project manager with the EDC, everybody that's worked so hard, Reagan Farr and Katie Rodeer is here today to represent the Department of Revenue, so we certainly appreciate that. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. I think I usually do. The Clarksville-Montgomery County Industrial Development Board was key, and those members have been recognized a little earlier. The effort that we all put together, and as Mayor Piper said, it was a joint effort. Everybody was working in a proactive motion, and it was so interesting to see that whenever the Hemlock SemiConductor site selection team came forward with their checklist of things, requirements that they had that we had to meet, or all the sites, and that they were looking at, which it was a global site all around the world. They were looking for sites, and to think that we came out in the end as the selected site is amazing. And I think it's good timing. We're at the right place at the right time to make this happen and be successful for both our community and Hemlock, and that is amazing. It's truly amazing. And Tennessee will reap the rewards, and Hemlock will as well. So we are so excited. I want to recognize the TVA representative, Jerome Terrell's here today. Couldn't have happened without them. It couldn't have happened without Governor Phil Bredesen, who set up standards to have economic development incentives for the state of Tennessee so that we could compete with other states, and we see that that's been effective. The city and county agencies that all work collectively together to work off the checklist of the project requirements. And last and most importantly, the Hemlock SemiConductor Dow Corning site selection team, who literally searched the globe for the best fit for their first green facility. We are so proud you chose us. It's amazing. I want to again thank the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners, who believed in the mega site project from the beginning and took that leap of faith in September 2008 when our option to purchase the property, and you heard that earlier mentioned, expired in the end of September, and they agreed to fund the TVA approved mega site property, even though we did not have a signed on project for the site. And we've recognized those commissioners, and thank you for being present today. Groundbreaking will soon take place on the Austin Peay State University campus for a building that will house a Chem-Tech lab with a curriculum and equipment to train students for the chemical technician jobs when Hemlock SemiConductor LLC opens its doors in 2012. And we are so excited about the opportunity our citizens will have to be there and be ready to go to work. Today is truly the beginning of a new journey. We can now watch the progress of the massive plant construction that will become Clarksville's Hemlock SemiConductor LLC. I'm excited about the future of our community. It is truly incredible to imagine what future opportunities our citizens will be afforded because of Hemlock SemiConductor LLC and supporting industries that will locate here. Again, we welcome Hemlock SemiConductor LLC to our community, and thank you for believing in us enough to invest your future in ours. Thank you.
Before I bring up Jerome Terrell and move from the local effort to more of the state and regional effort, if you've heard us talk about this project in the community, Mike and I and our team and our board has benefited from a lot of the thank yous and the attaboys and the pats on the back. But the reality is, in a 2.5 years process, and these guys will tell you, that there were a lot of times where things could have gone sideways. Just answering questions, due diligence, and there probably is not a department in city or county government that was not engaged, actively engaged in this project at some point. And for 2.5 years, these people kept their mouths shut. Thank you so much. But their work to satisfy the issues or red flags that may have popped up, there weren't many, but when they did, they answered. Our planning department, Dave Riggins is here, and his team, building and codes. I'm not sure if Rod Streeter's here or not. The gas and water team, emergency management, you name it, there was a department involved and engaged in this process. So if y'all would please thank them and their teams that do a lot of the work. And I will tell you, they made a lot of commitments on our behalf. We made a lot of commitments on their behalf. And they have stepped up. Everything to date, they have stepped up. Also, the Teeter family, I know that you guys are here. I saw Bucky and some of the sons, you guys are here. This was their farm. I'm not sure if they've gotten an eviction notice for the houses yet or not, but thank you, your cooperation over the years. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. It's a great legacy for our community. Thank you. And our staff. For 2.5 years, when we've been MIA or we needed their help on the project, y'all are in the back, standing in the back. If y'all would raise your hands and let us thank you, we appreciate you. I appreciate you, what you do every day. So, thank God for unanswered prayers. For those of you that live here, you know that we've had a lot of opportunities to be the bridesmaid. And today we're the bride. Well, you know what I mean. But Toyota, you remember when Toyota looked at us many times? And you just thank God for unanswered prayers if you look at what's happened in that industry. And this is the beginning of the new. And the growth in this sector, I think, far outweighs any of those opportunities that were given to us in the past. And we're grateful for it. Part of that search originated because of TVA's reliability factor. Around the world, reliability and their price are almost second to none. And it's for that reason that they focused on this area originally. I will also tell you that the mega site certification process, it has its critics around the country, but you can't argue with success. Almost every single one of the certified mega sites has been sold. And we got rejected twice. The standards are incredibly strict. And again, it goes back to our Industrial Development Board, Mike, our county and city leadership to let us keep focusing on this effort. The site that sits next to us is a 160-acre site that was zoned residential. For those of you that are not from here, residential growth is just booming in our area. And had we not been allowed to acquire that site, get it rezoned to manufacturing, we would not be standing here today talking about this project. So TVA, with their commitment to economic development, the certification process, and their reliability factor are key reasons why we're standing here today. And Jerome Terrell, who's become a very good friend over the years, is going to represent them today. Thank you, brother.
Good morning. Thank you. What an incredible day this is for Clarksville, Montgomery County, state of Tennessee, and the Tennessee Valley area. And I was thinking when I pulled up, and I mentioned this to somebody earlier, that about 2.5 years ago, this particular spot right here was a helicopter with 8 folks on it that went up and toured the site for the very first time. And it was was such a high confidential level at that point. It was known as codenamed Project Washington, so we knew first names, but nothing else. And the only other thing that we knew is they did require a lot of power, and it was a very large project. Of course, we have obviously learned a lot since then, and we've gained a lot of knowledge along the way. But the team that was on the ground at that time, and all the accolades that have been here, everybody before me has spoken to that team. But I think the unknown part, sort of anecdotally on that, is that it was such a high confidential level and it was such a competitive nature globally that they couldn't give us a lot of information even as it unfolded. And the team that was in place had all the due diligence done. They were prepared for this to arrive in the community, and the impact and the size of this is just still staggering if we think about it. But they couldn't tell us a lot, so we had to learn as we go. And I think that Hemlock had the vision. You knew what you were looking at. You had done this globally in other areas, but just giving up pieces of it at a time as go. And then with the commitment of the community to be able to fit those needs into the picture, and it goes along, and I think it shows that Hemlock wanted to be here, for one thing. We wanted you here, and it took that process and that courtship to get us to where we are today. So, again, thanks to Hemlock for choosing this community. I think the impact will unveil in triplicate or 4 times as this thing unfolds in the future, with the sustainability, the jobs that are here, the type of industry that it is, the need globally for clean energy. And TVA was proud to participate with that team, with the reliability and the pricing that we have on our power needs, as well as the mega site property. So again, Hemlock, thanks to you for choosing us. We're glad that you're in the Tennessee Valley, and we want to grow with you as it goes. Thanks.
And our final speaker is going to be Paul LaGrange, who's Assistant Commissioner for Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. But as he's making his way, did I get that right? As he's making his way up here, our governor's commitment to this project, to making it happen in partnership with Commissioner Reagan Farr, Commissioner Matt Kisber, Department of Labor, Department of Transportation. Again, there was environment, so many people engaged in this project. Usually in the economic development process, the community level people are not at the table because a company's looking at several sites in our state. But from day one, the only site being considered in Tennessee was Clarksville, Montgomery County. And to be able to watch them work over the last couple of years has been pretty amazing. They don't just give you the standard package that some of our other state competitors give you. It's not standard cash or tax incentives or whatever it is, but it was based on the continual and growing needs of this company and the growing scope of the project that got us to where we are today. Their investment in the project, the site, the infrastructure, the rail, roads, everything coming in here, training. Something that came in very late in the game was the lapse at Austin Peay State University in this program, and the governor supported it. So as the needs grew, they continued to answer the call. Also, from a legislative standpoint, the governor's commitment to alternative energy and alternative energy solutions to make them competitive not only in Tennessee but in our country. His energy policy last year, those incentives were incredibly important to this project. So on behalf of our community, Paul, we thank you and the state and the governor for what you guys have done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, James. Thank you all so much for allowing me to celebrate this day today. And first of all, I'd like to personally thank the members of the General Assembly, because what we do would not be made possible without their support. And we thank you, Commissioner Kisber, and myself. So thank you very much. Speaking at events like these really is the best part of my job, because I get to participate in the physical growth of a company. Growth that will create high-skilled, well-paying jobs for the people here in Tennessee. Today's groundbreaking marks a significant milestone, both for Hemlock SemiConductor, as they commence a substantial expansion, and for the state of Tennessee. And we are honored to play a role in this exciting project. Hemlock SemiConductor's decision to locate a polycrystalline silicon manufacturing facility here in Clarksville is a testament to the growing role Tennessee is playing in the green energy industry. I know I don't have to convince you of the importance of the industry to our state and to our country. The opportunity for not only environmental responsibility and energy independence, but also job creation is truly staggering. A report by the Tennessee Department of Labor found that our state could see the creation of over 45,000 green-collar jobs if we invest in the necessary infrastructure and education. Governor Bredesen understands well the potential of the burgeoning renewable energy sector, and Hemlock SemiConductor's position as the #1 polysilicon manufacturer worldwide leads credibility to our state's efforts to create a home for the solar energy. Tennessee's team approach to economic development, the educational resources afforded by Austin Peay State University and other institutions here in Clarksville, and many other factors help this fine company decide to locate in this growing community. And today we are making the first physical steps towards seeing these goals realized. As work progresses, we at the state look forward to working collaboratively with company officials, as well as with the folks here in Clarksville and Montgomery County, to make sure this project is a success for everyone involved. People often think that once the negotiations are finished and the contracts are signed, the rest of the business location project is a breeze, and I think James and Mike will testify it's not. I'm here to tell you firsthand that today is when the real work begins. But what I want to say for the record, that Tennessee is committed to seeing this project through. From the first shovel of dirt on out, we will work through the inevitable challenges and make sure that Hemlock SemiConductor has a long-term partner in the state of Tennessee. Economic development is not just about signing deals, it's about creating relationships. At ECD, we are looking forward to a long, successful relationship with Hemlock SemiConductor. I anticipate returning to this site many times to announce good news for the company and the community. I want to thank you again for having me here today, and congratulations.
All right, so I have a couple of housekeeping items. Our speakers, we're going to go directly outside the tent, do the ceremonial turning of the dirt with the shovels. The group, y'all are on a 2-lane road, and we're going to try and get you all at once to make a U-turn to try and back out of the site. I'm just kidding. Most of your cars should be pointed north. So if you will continue north on Jim Johnson Road and take a left, that will eventually lead you out to exit 1. Okay? Safety first, safety first, safety first. Don't listen to the first thing I said. Head due north. Sometimes I think I'm being funny and I'm not. What we wanted to do today was tell you a little bit of the inside story on how we got to where we are today. And that
You've been tagging all the time. That's what I thought you were. Near. Thank you. Yes, stand behind. Good job, Grandpa.
A few times.
Imagine.
I just do what I'm told. I've been married for 40 years. We're going to have you on
Okay. Dig in the clutch.
Get y'all to fill it back in.
Sir? Okay, we're going to do. All right. Let's do.
That's hard to put up.
Okay, so we do. And big dirt. I want you to look up and look right. You're going to do it. All right. We're actually back in here. First scoop.
All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
If any of the media needs to get an interview with our speakers, just hang out here for a second.
Oh,
Hang out here. Do it again? Good job. Are we good? Again? Sure. Good, thank you. Terry, just if you can hang for a second, if the media wants to talk to you all, Terry. Only one long.